Yo, 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 what's going on, man? Y'all know what's up, man. It's your boy Smitty the Elephant in the room, man. And we back at it. Another edition of Let's Talk About It, man. It's been an interesting week in sports. We got a lot to run down, man. We got a whole lot to run down, man. You know, we're going to start off with one of the most hottest topics in sports right now, man. It's coming from an interesting character himself, too, man. Austin Rivers. For anybody that don't know, that's the son of Glenn Rivers, a.k.a. Doc Rivers. I call him Glenn because the only Doc I recognize is Julius Erving, Dr. J, them Sixers. But let's talk about it. Let's address the elephant in the room. Let's cut the small talk and let's get right down to the nitty gritty, man. So Austin Rivers, he had a quote, man. He was on the Pat McAfee show that's on ESPN, man. It comes on every Monday through Friday. And Bull said something along the lines like, he was talking about football and basketball. And I don't know if he got in the heat of the moment arguing with Pat and whoever he had on his show or whatever else may have been going on. But you know, he came through and he just jumped out there and said, I could take 30 NBA players and throw them in the NFL right now, but you can't take 30 NFL players and throw them in the NBA. We're going to go ahead and stop the cap right there, Austin Rivers. Now, Austin, I don't want to sound like I'm dissing you or nothing, because at the end of the day, you was better at basketball than I ever was at basketball. So we're going to start off right there. I'm going to give you your props at that. But we also going to give you some real content. You also made it to the league based off your last name being Rivers. I ain't going to let you come for my Bulls in the NFL like that. You said you could take 30 NBA players and throw them in the NFL, but you can't take 30 NFL players in. And I'm going to go ahead and I want you, if you happen to catch this video or catch anything, I want you to name them 30 NBA players. Matter of fact, you ain't got to give me 30. Give me 15. Because I can tell you 5 off the rip that you can't throw in the NFL. Anthony Davis could never play in the NFL. Joel Embiid, Jokic, you, Austin Rivers, who else is another one? There's a whole list of them. That's 4 right there. And mind you, that's 3 of them players is in the top 10 to 15 players in the NBA. Kyrie Irving's another one who you can't throw in the NFL. Luka Doncic. And these are all, mind you, I'm just naming the regular the top players that could be number 1 or at worst number 2 options on a championship winning team. I'm naming the top players when I say Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, Kyrie Irving. And I throw you in there. I don't believe we could throw you on the NFL league and think you could do it. Now, I also am willing to admit there is some NBA players that I believe you could put them in the NFL roster right now. My man, Ant-Man. But we're going to talk about Ant-Man later for all my people watching this. But for you, Austin Rivers, Anthony Edwards, I believe you could. LeBron James in his prime, I know could. You could probably throw him out there. I'm so a surprised one. I think you could put Jimmy Butler in the NFL. I think Jimmy Butler could play football. I really honestly, if I'm not mistaken, a few years back, when he was still in Chicago, he had made a video too when he left Minnesota or was trying to get out of Minnesota, not Chicago, when he was trying to get out of Minnesota, and him and Andrew Wiggins' brother was going back, and they had him out there on some videotapes running routes. I think Jimmy Butler, a few years back when he was in his early 30s, because he's 34, he's still early 30s, but I'm talking about like late 20s, mid 20s, could have played in the NFL. I think we could throw Jimmy Butler out there. So Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, Anthony Edwards. I think Dwight Howard could have played a good defensive end. I'm trying to think of some old school mixed with new school Bulls. But since we talking that, I'm thinking I can give you about 5 to 10 old school and new school football players that could make it into the NBA though. Randy Moss, he won Mr. West Virginia high school state football, basketball. He had D1 offers to play basketball. Who else in the NFL? Myles Garrett, who currently plays as DN. He could make a hell of a power forward. I've seen him play. Patrick Mahomes, he was balling when he was in Texas high school playing. Kirk Cousins back in his day had a wicked jump shot. He could have been a nice stretch 3-point shooter for somebody in the NBA. That's 4. Okay, let's go. Jerry Rice, I believe, would have made it good in the NBA. Let's go a little further now. Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders showed he was a 2-sport athlete with baseball and football. I believe he could have played basketball too had them 2 seasons not collided with each other. Prime time Deion Sanders, baby. You know, pat my hair, prime. What else we got, man? That's some old school. Let's go to new school. Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill got the speed, and I've seen him play it a little bit. Tyreek Hill could play. There's a lot. That's 7 football players I just gave you right there that I believe that you could take right now or when they was in their primes playing out the NFL and put them in the NBA. So that statement you kind of made is kind of crazy. Now, for all my basketball players that might be ready, y'all gonna watch this, John, and y'all might catch a little offense. Slow down. Let me give y'all a pat. Let me give y'all a little simple thing. Basketball players, I know some players that I played basketball with, against, or I watched play. There was dogs on the court, but they got on the field and they didn't have the hand-eye coordination or the feet coordination to run routes or make proper blocks or shed tackles or be able to make proper form tackles. But I also know some basketball players that was dogs that you could throw them out there on the field and they was hell of a quarterbacks or they was hella receivers or hella DBs. And I know, like I said, I know some hell of a football players that were hella basketball players because athleticism is athleticism. So if you have athleticism, there's certain games that you're just going to be able to play. But like Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson, Bo Jackson played football and basketball. They both said it. And Michael Jordan, who played football and basketball. I mean, not football and basketball, but baseball and basketball. They said it. When they left to play baseball, they learned that they had to let their whole bodies basically break down. Like, they had to learn different stretching because you're stretching different parts of your body from playing basketball that you would be playing baseball. And baseball is more hip action. So you're doing a lot more stretching on your hips and your thighs, no diddy. And a lot of your lower body, no diddy. You're doing a lot more. It's different stretching and different body movements that you're using. So I'm not trying to take nothing away from my basketball players that might catch offense and say, oh, you biased towards football. No, because like I just said, I probably could go down the list of a handful of football players that I don't believe could do jack diddly shit on the basketball court. A lot of them going to be offensive linemen or defensive tackles. A lot of them, some even linebackers. Matter of fact, more recent, we seen them in the Celebrity All-Star game this past year from the All-Star game. Micah Parsons, Dallas Cowboys, man. We're going to talk about them fucking Cowboys later, man, when we get closer to football season, man. But we're going to talk about them. But Micah Parsons, he went out there and balled his ass off. Mind you, he's about a 6'4", 6'5" defensive linebacker / DN, no matter how you want to call him, he's a hybrid. He balls. He can play basketball. That's another one that you could throw out there to play ball. It's just like, that statement you made, Austin, was crazy. Now, you and my man James Jones going at it. I'm going to go ahead and check you for this, Austin, and I don't want to sound like I'm just trying to grind you up, man. You try to discredit James Jones. James Jones was a hell of a football player, especially with the Green Bay Packers. And he was a hell of a piece on their defense when they won that Super Bowl. Which, if you don't know, was the only Super Bowl Aaron Rodgers, who's as great as he is, top 5 quarterback of all time, ever won in his career. So that's just to say that. I ain't got to run down his stats. When he was grinding you up on his TV show, with him and Acho, He ran down your stats and his stats. I ain't here to grind you up about being a top 10 pick because of your last name, but only averaging 9 career points a game and bouncing team to team and never being a high impact. I ain't here to grind you up about that, Austin Rivers. You feel me? It is what it is, though. But James Jones was a hell of an impact player. But like I said, man, that was a crazy statement you made, Austin. Like, you can't die. I'm willing to guarantee you. I'm willing to bet you can't give me 20. I'm guarantee it. You can't give me 20 NBA players right now that you could sit there and tell them to go out there and line them up and play football, and they'll make an NFL roster. Now, I told you, I believe LeBron James in his prime could have. Dwight Howard could have. I believe LeBron could have been a nice tight end or wide receiver. He was a Mr. Ohio, if I'm not mistaken, when he was in high school. Dwight Howard, I believe, could have made a nice DN or outside linebacker. Anthony Edwards be a hell of a running back or wide receiver or DB. So them 3 I believe in. I probably could go down a list of some more players, but for every 5 players I give you that couldn't make it, I'm probably sure if we just go down the list and I keep off top, you couldn't give me. I can give you 10 that won't make it. But I also, like I said, I could give you about 10 to 15. I'm willing to bet you, I could give you 10 to 15 NFL players that are definitely making it in the NBA, man. And it's not to disrespect neither one of them organizations, the NFL or the NBA, about their players, because all of them is hell of athletes. They're the best basketball and football players on the planet. That's why they playing in the leagues they playing for the country they playing. They the best players in the world. It's not to take nothing away from it. But man, I want y'all to let me know what y'all think, man. I need all my former basketball players, current basketball players, former football players, current football players, whether you little league, high school, college, professional, whatever, man. I need you to chime in. And if you don't play basketball, my boxers, my baseball players, I need all y'all chime in. Let me know what y'all think about what Austin Rivers said, where he could take 30 NBA players and put them in the NFL and they'll start, but you can't give him 30 NFL players that can go in the NBA. What y'all think about that? Because now this is a conversation that makes, is players able to play the two-way sport players? And we've seen it happen, man. We've seen it happen, like I said, Deion, Prime, Michael Jordan, Russell Wilson's. We've seen it happen before, man. We've definitely seen it happen before. So y'all let me know, man. Y'all like, comment, and share, man. And subscribe to that YouTube channel. Let's talk about it. The Elephant in the Room with your boy Smitty, man. We got more things coming, man. Let me know what y'all think, man. Tap in.